Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you log in when you did that, or just join?
Yeah, so I think it's if last time you actually logged in, this time if you open up the Zoom app, it's automatically just logged in.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, for some reason I thought Honor was doing this one.
He's still on vacation.
Oh. Well, while I'm sitting here typing and stuff, I don't know, does anybody have any agenda items they want to add? I noticed Eric Charles had some questions for Sean. I don't know if that just got resolved.
I was answering him on Slack.
Okay. Oh, Kamoon, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Cool. Did you have a link to the deck you were putting together for the Strata talk?
We have a deck we're putting together. I'm not actually sure it's ready for review. Do you still want to take a look, or?
It's up to you. If you're ready, that's fine. If
Okay.
you're not, we can wait.
Yeah, let me do some very basic sanity check, and then I'll probably post a link somewhere, like maybe in Slack. Make sense?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So we find out Friday if release candidate 3 passes, so that's good.
Well, but one thing I'm really curious about actually is they don't seem to have any enforcement on, like, whether something last minute changes could get in or not. So I saw a miners one on a vote. Someone says he wanted to fix something. I don't know if that will happen or not, but if that happens, that will, probably, further delay the release.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you would probably know more than me. I thought for some reason that unless you got yourself declared a blocker at this point, there's no way you're going to get it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
As of this morning, I hadn't seen any -1 votes for anybody, so I've been mostly presuming it's going to be in. Has anybody tested that Prometheus sync PR? I'm just curious.
What PR?
There was a PR for a Prometheus metric sync.
Oh, okay.
They actually, it was a while ago.
Is the PR going to the upstream? Because I remember there was a PR for a fork.
I think
it is upstream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and originally somebody submitted it here,
yes.
and then
right.
And we actually suggested him to go against upstream, so I think he did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It did. I might be able to find the link here. Is that it? Yeah, that's it right here. I don't know. People are, I think people are understandably a little concerned about some of the depths it pulls in because you got it submitted against the core. But I think you could relatively easily just stick it into a sub project and then make that problem go away. But I don't know. It was, when he tested it, he did not actually test it in Kube, or at least that's how I read the PR stuff.
Theoretically, this Prometheus sync can be used for like Spark on YAR or Spark on Mesos even, because Prometheus is basically, pulling that information from some sort of like HTTP, right, REST endpoint.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. It's like any other sync. It's
right.
It's like independent. It doesn't have definitely doesn't have to be against. In fact, that's why we wanted to go upstream, because it's not really that coupled.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. I don't hear any other topics. I don't know, Matt, did you have any topics?
I still need to update the proposal document for the refactors going into the submission client and the executor creation. I haven't been able to find the time to sit down and actually make those document changes, but that needs to be done. Hopefully before the end of the week. I'll have the changes on the document. I don't know. Elon and I will sort out the actual workload in terms of the implementation. Elon is not on the call, I see. He will need to be, we agreed that Elon will be removing the init container code from the entire submission process. So once that is done, then we can move forward with the rest of the implementation of this refactor as a whole. Cool. That's a long way of saying there's not much update there, unfortunately.
Had you were thinking of posting a JIRA to talk about like what the role of the RSS would be?
Yes, that's something that's something I still needed to do. I haven't been able to do that. If you could record that as an item and assign to me, then that'd be good.
Yeah, sure.
Might have already been recorded for February 7th, but since I was not really available for a bit, need to take a look again.
So, or if there's nothing else about Spark, I do have one or two questions about the Airflow stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So we're getting really, really close. Like probably like hopefully next couple of weeks, getting like the actual Kubernetes executor merged. One weird issue I've run into is I have a test that breaks on Travis, but I can't reproduce the failure locally. And I want to know if anyone here has like run into something like that, and like what steps I could be taking. I tried to get local Travis running in a Docker container, but because these are Kubernetes tests, you can't really run like Minikube inside of a Docker container.
Yeah, that's the only thing that was going to occur to me is, before we set up the Jenkins instances, we tried to use Travis and we had trouble with Minikube. That was the only difference that we ran into, that I know of.
So this might be like an actual issue.
Specifically Minikube trouble.
Sorry, what?
I was just looking at Eric's notes. It was
yeah.
very good.
Sorry. Good point. I don't know. You guys are probably kind of locked into Travis, right?
Yeah, because Airflow is already using Travis, so like.
Oh. What about using an external Minikube? Sorry, not Minikube. External Kubernetes.
So like GKE.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think there'd be any issues with that. And I know that was something that Anirudh had proposed. I guess that would just have to be something I bring up when he's back, which I think would be next week.
Mm-hmm.
But we I mean, all of the like Spark on Kube IC is got refactored so that it could run against an external cluster. So I'm not sure how much that will help you as an example, but it is an example of like how we got that working.
So what I seem to recall is the Airflow guys were open to that, but the concern was how do we store the secret key for a GCP account so that someone doesn't steal it and start mining Monero or something? Like how do we allow the Travis instance to every time we do a merge create a new like GKE cluster or submit to a GKE cluster, but in a way that we can store those secrets?
Yeah, I think the normal solution to this is something like, and I don't know enough about Travis, but many systems support having like environment variables or things like that that are only accessible to the instance that's running their CI. So like Travis would export the environment variable. The Travis system would allow that to just be exported into that image, and then you have an admin bless that the CI should run on a given PR, right? Because so if somebody submits an malicious PR where they're trying to mine your secrets, an admin doesn't bless that. That's the normal solution, I think.
So like it would just change the actual configuration of the Travis cluster Airflow is using to have that secret information.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, Jenkins certainly supports that same concept, and I'd be extremely surprised if Travis didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to them about that. One other thing, so I have like a first draft ready for the article that we're going to be releasing on Tech at Bloomberg for the Kubernetes operator. And I was wondering if there was anyone I could make collaborators on the GitHub repo to just kind of like look it over and give any feedback.
Sure. I'd be happy to take a look.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. By the way, Daniel. I'm giving a talk at a meetup, Bay Area, Lisa, tomorrow, and I tried to look at the linked the slides that you made last August about Airflow, and they were too Bloomberg specific and too much. They had too much that was in your head that I didn't know how to talk to. Do you have any that you're revving?
Yeah. So, Sean, are you available this afternoon?
Sure. Let me look.
Yeah. So the thing with this,
Bloomberg, I could be after 3:30.
Cool. Let me check my calendar. Basically, because like I'm kind of not allowed to like create slides that don't have like the Bloomberg specific stuff, but I can definitely kind of give you at least the assets I'm using and explain what's going on in those slides.
That would be good, maybe. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the mentioning of the Bloomberg. It was that it had so much Bloomberg internal infrastructure stuff that I wasn't sure that I could talk to that.
No. Did you see this? I think I spoke more recently than August. That were like, because this isn't the one from the Airflow meetup at Airbnb, is it?
I think it is. Or no, I'm not sure that it is.
Okay, because I think the one at Airbnb was much less about Bloomberg architecture and more just like general, like this is how the executor is going to work and stuff like that.
Yeah. But, so 3:30 Pacific, I meant. Is that what you interpreted?
Yeah, I'm Pacific, and late afternoons
Great.
are usually really good for me because that's when New York is kind of off. Yeah, 3:30 works perfectly for me.
All right, I'll hit you up on Slack and we can do a chat.
Perfect.
Somebody wanted to talk about the name node HA.
Right. So I have a PR describing the name node HA design at a very high level. So I was wondering if anyone is interested in reviewing the design doc and give some feedbacks. So I know Soam has shown interest in the past. So is Soam here today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here, Timon. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to take a look at the design document. If
Okay. Yeah, if anyone else is also interested, yeah, just feel free to let me know. I'll just designate you guys as reviewers.
Yeah, just one note, I'll be out most of next week, but I'll start looking at it this week, just as an FYI.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will also take a look.
Okay, great.
Cool. We don't actually have that many people here today either. Possibly that's all of our topics. Does anybody have any other questions or announcements?
Oh, on my end, we ran against the, I ran all the Hadoop stuff against branch 2.2, and everything passes. There's a PR that came in the other day fixing how the way that secrets are defined in terms of camel case. That error didn't pop up when I was doing it before. I think it's because of maybe Kubernetes like 1.8, 1.9. They made sure that secrets can have camel cases. But that was a really good PR that the guy passed in. Now how everything works. And the last thing is I'm trying to figure out the integration tests. Personally, I feel like the docs could be a little bit better because what's happening right now is that the Docker build isn't happening. And I'm running exactly what the tutorial is saying, and I'm not getting it to work. In essence, I have my distribution binary. I'm running dev run integration tests. I pass in the binary, and then it's not building the Docker env. And Docker env is executed in the shell, so the environment itself does have proper Docker configuration.
Does this might be like the doc drifting out of sync with the refactoring that happened going to
It could be that. I just didn't realize. I recently started leveraging the Spark integration repo, and I didn't realize how many changes have been made to the scripts. Because before I was running directly like the Maven commands, and now it's all scripts. And right now it's not working on my end. Either we should refactor the docs.
Elon, when you said you recently started using the Spark integration repo,
yeah.
The one key thing here is did you also switch at the same time between using the fork build of Spark to the
so I'm using
build of
Spark 2. I'm using Spark 2.3 right now master.
So that's upstream.
Yeah, it's upstream.
Yeah.
I'm using the upstream.
Yeah, because the integration only
So in
works
essence,
against
what's
the
happening is exactly, and the Docker build isn't kicking off.
You're starting.
It's
your
giving
Minikube is
me
running.
Docker build argument errors. What's up?
Your Minikube is running.
Yeah, everything's running. Yeah.
Okay.
So
The
I
problem is that it's
retested
not
everything
knocking off
last
the Docker
night.
build.
Yeah. I retested everything last night after we were slacking, and they all work. So it feels like it's something specific to your setup, and probably the docs. So Ilan, I should really take a look at those docs, because as I mentioned on Slack, what I'm always doing is I always just go right back to Jenkins and just do whatever Jenkins says.
Makes sense.
Which means that I don't really pay attention to the docs. So maybe I should take a look at those. Could you point me at which ones you're using?
I'm using specifically the take a peek. So in the Spark integration repo itself, it would be so in the beginning you just run dev. Yeah, it's pretty much you're running the dev image tag. The problem that I'm getting is saying Docker build's missing an argument, and what it's in essence saying is that there's no Docker file. So it's giving me an error where Docker file is not found. That's
right, which makes me think that there's something funny about your Spark distribution, because the Docker file is supposed to come out of the Spark distribution.
So the Spark distribution, I'm wondering, yeah, so that's the thing. So the repo also doesn't specify how the distribution's made, whether there's specific target stuff you're supposed to add. My distribution at the moment is just including Hadoop 2.7 and Kubernetes. I don't know if anything else is required.
So I'll take a look at these docs, because I'm looking at this readme.md, which I obviously, as I just said, I haven't looked at, and I can clearly tell it's wrong right away, right? Because the readme.md suggests running against the fork Spark, which we already know won't work. So I guess I will take a look and see if I can update it.
Are these the readmes that are like on the actual Spark Dash integration?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
I can clearly tell. I think
so
one look at
that's
this, I can clearly tell it's not.
Yeah. That's something to look into. Otherwise, it's good news that we have everything on the end of Hadoop is working totally fine. And it also works for 2.7.3 as well as 2.6.5. There's talks right now on the thread that we're going to move away from 2.6.5. So I'll ensure to keep on 2.7.3. That's in terms of upstream. The one thing I wanted to do was figure out how we can put the Hadoop base image on all of the nodes to ensure that we don't have to repull it each time. Because it is a 1.1 gigabyte size file to include the expanded Hadoop library. Or something of that size. Let me quickly check the size. It's
when you say put it on all the nodes, like using a.
I want to ensure that the Docker image itself is maintained within the Minikubes across the nodes, because I think Sean was talking about how there are specific types of teardowns that might include the Docker images. Sean, am I right? Or
well, it's not really a teardown. It's more just that the Minikube has a Docker repo inside of it, and the Minikube, like the integration test shell script does try to set up its environment to push the Docker builds, the built images into that repo. I'm not aware that there's anything that tears them down. So theoretically, you could actually get full. That's kind of an open issue, but that shouldn't be the problem you're facing.
Okay, but the main gist is that I want to ensure that the Hadoop images are staged on the Minikube itself before we start running any of these tests. Yeah, that's the main gist. The other thing is that there's still some slight instability in terms of setting up a Hadoop cluster on the fly, in terms of whether or not the network connection between between 3 pods is stable enough such that there's no like connection request errors, which sometimes happens, which will have like an on-off, let's say 1 in 9 chance of failing if we were to run it in an integration test environment. While if you manually load it up using Helm, it works consistently. I guess I'll have my watcher threads have like a little extra sleep between to ensure that everything's working fine. But otherwise, yeah. So right now I'm working on, we have integration tests working on the master as well as on what do you call it? On the branch too, which is awesome.
So yeah, so with respect to helping you debug your thing, I sent you some more things in Slack to try to see what's different between your laptop and mine. You know, if you can take a look at those and mail me, I'll just diff them against what I see on mine.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
I guess the other focus is Matt's refactoring. I was looking at whether or not there was still like stability in the work that Vanzlin merged in. There doesn't seem to be a problem right now, but I see in terms of the integration tests, so that's really good. Just a matter of refactoring the executor side. Matt, I assume we're moving forward with the executor plan, right? I didn't see too many comments against that much.
Yeah, I still need to fix the document. I haven't fixed it yet to accommodate the new plan. So, yes.
Okay, good. So that's everything on my end, I believe.
Okay. Well, you could get a half hour back unless anybody has any other questions.
No.
Going once.
Good. Good.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Over and out, guys.
Bye.